Okay, so here we go with the Star Trek scrap model, the Klingon D-8 Dreadnought Battlecruiser. This is a purpose-built heavy warship. The production started in about the 2290s. The scale comparison next to the largest Starfleet heavy cruiser in my little models. The Starfleet heavy cruiser is 14 centimeters. That makes it 462 meters. And the D8 is about 9.55 centimeters, coming out to 315 meters. And just to read out the arsenal here, it has 3 photon torpedo launchers forward, 2 hyper missiles forward, 2 aft, and 2 ventral mounted hyper missiles. 4 proximity cluster photonic mines that are ventral, 2 heavy mega disruptor cannons forward ventral, 4 disruptor cannons forward and 4 disruptor cannon aft on the wing mounts, 2 disruptor banks forward. Those are the blue matchsticks, and there's also one more right on the front bridge module, and then it has 4 pulse disruptor point defense forward and 2 aft that I'll go over in the breakdown images we'll go through here. Okay, so now I'll briefly cover what the top bird's eye view parts were used. So the front bridge is a headphone, a older headphone. The fuselage next that connects the bridge, the top there is some fork tips to give it a little bit stronger structure. The 2 nail screws, those are the hyper missiles, which go at warp 1 or 2 and have about 6 photon torpedoes. And then the mechanical pencil parts on the top. You can see the red part, that is for the impulse engine intake. And also the silver parts are the clips of mechanical pencils used to put in your pocket. And those are disruptor turrets. And also for the phaser cannons, the wing mount phaser cannons, the top one is a toothpick. And the bottom one is a feeder on the inside of a mechanical pencil for the lead. And the main hull is actually 2 black Lego wings. And there's also various plastic additions to the upper hull, which include part of a razor blade case and matchsticks and a few other plastic things to give it more depth. A lot of it I got from when you buy razor blades, they come in plastic cases, so I was able to use that for the curve right on the side there by that silver hyper missile, which is actually a nail screw. And for the nacelles, that is the tip of a mechanical pencil on both sides, and the end of the nacelle is actually a wiring harness where you splice wires together. It just happened to be light blue. That worked out pretty good for that. So that pretty much covers it on the top. Okay, so for this ventral, we can see the main fuselage is a center hull mechanical pencil cylinder that goes up to the torpedo room ball that, if you notice, is about the same size as a Katinga, but it's obviously smaller because this is about 315 meters long, and the Katinga, I believe, is about 220 something. Or 30, can't remember. And then for the torpedo launchers, those are actually Bic Pen ink tube tops, and then there's also those two blue balls are also blue balls are also those mines, which are actually tips of those different push pins. And then there's some additional plastic to the ventral hole to give it some width. Heavy mega disruptor cannons, those are actually tips of plastic forks that you can see on the ventral, but they actually come out so they can be fired forward in any direction. Cargo hold is a jumble of things. There is a little cargo hold on the bottom there. I'm looking and trying to remember what all I used to make this. It's a hodgepodge of things, because this was probably one of my fourth or fifth designs after the Enterprise. I think was the first one. Panoramic views to get three-dimensional look at, try to get the angles. Okay, so here's the schematic for the top panoramic view. So the length is 315 meters. So D-8 battlecruiser dreadnought class, 6 decks, 1 command deck, 365 standard crew. So max warp 8.9, emergency warp 9.35, 10 hours, cruising warp 7 with dual impulse engines, standard cloak and evasion systems with heavy weapons and defense systems. The width is 240 meters, 7.15 centimeters. And the aft view, the overall draft is 80 meters, 2.4 centimeters. So I'll just leave you with the rest of the panoramic view. Well, look at this clip. I put some Klingon ships together that actually labeled, so you can see compared next to the D-8 Dreadnought is the D-19 Gullwing battlecruiser, K-22 Scout class bird of prey, which I used from a FASA, and then next to the left of the Gullwing is a K-Bort class cruiser, but still a pretty big ship. And then there's the Katang light cruiser right to the top of the K-Bort. So the next Klingon scrap models I make was from the Enterprise era, the Klingon D-8 tactical cruisers instead of the Katinga class, so type 3 and 4, two different variants. So this one measures out at about 222 meters, so that would be, and made from similar materials. The main hull is actually a mechanical pencil, and the impulse engine is a glue cap glued into the mechanical pencil. And the wings, I believe I made out of credit cards. And the bridge hull is, I think it's a glitter thing. I painted silver on top of some other little circular random things. Torpedo bay, right below, is the front of some type of mechanical pencil. And the warp nacelles are fork legs combined together, part of a push pin that was the middle part cut out, where the main secondary hull is forks, and also the middle of push pins and some other random things, with bottom push pins near the wing roots that come up towards the fuselage main hull. And then there's also two heavy disruptor cannons coming out of the front of the nacelles. And to me, the bottom looks like I used some zip ties to give it a little depth. So yeah, those are my two versions of the Enterprise Air D4s. That looks better. The Type 3 is a little bit longer, and Type 4, they're about actually the same length, so they almost look identical, but that would be my choice over just a Katinga. And then also here you can see them next to the D8 cruiser. They're considerably smaller, so works out fairly well. Oh, crew complement. The crew complement of these D4 Klingon tactical cruisers probably be somewhere around 125. I would say anywhere from 100 to 130. If they could probably have more in there if they wanted.